Hi, friends.
Good morning.
Morning.
How you doing?
Senator Lockman will be here in a minute.
Hi, I can't hear any sound. Is anybody talking yet? Or are we just in the silent pre-meeting mode? Okay, cool. Thank you.
We're just waiting for Tizzy to jump on from another meeting.
Okay, great. I guess I'd know that if I read the chat. Sorry.
No problem.
It's just been Zoom fest today, one to another to another.
All week has been like that for some reason. It's just like, whew.
Gotta tell you, I like this though. In post-COVID, I think we're going to continue our Zoom licenses because it just saves so much travel time. And there's some things that with screen sharing and stuff, I think are more effective even.
Yeah, I agree. I came in halfway through.
Totally
this.
agree.
But I
Has
do-
anyone been on the roads this morning? I'm hearing bad things. I need to go
Our
on the road.
neighborhood's a mess.
Yeah.
But I heard some of the main roads are okay, like highway wasn't bad.
All right, this will be interesting. I have to go out around like 2:00 and I'm like, why is there still snow happening? As long as it's not ice.
Yeah, it's supposed to be above freezing by then.
Okay. All right.
Maybe.
Fingers crossed. Come on, Delta. Do your thing. Well, good morning, everyone. I know I always feel really super exhausted the day after our full body meetings and we won't be long, I don't think. Let's just start by debriefing on any thoughts from the meeting that anyone would like to share. I'll just say good job settlement work group for, really being the bulk of the meeting. And I think navigating that very nicely and giving folks a lot to talk about. And I think really the work of that work group is definitely surfacing a lot of values from the consortium in terms of, where do we want to end up? Which isn't always, I think, that's things we need to do right now and things that we really want to see done. There's a lot of steps between now and the things that we want to see done, but it's good to have folks, I think, bringing that into focus. And I think the work of the settlement group is doing that very nicely. So that's my feedback. Good job, Chuck.
Good, thanks. And I know we have a meeting coming up with the funding and governance to just kind of talk about, scope, which, what lanes belong to which group and so forth. And, so that'll be a good chat.
Yeah, definitely. I think people are eager, or maybe I'm speaking for myself, to see how the systemic funding reform conversation is going to proceed. And I think people want to see a proposal from us on that front. And that's been the impression I've gotten. And so I think we definitely need a plan to deliver that. And if that means, figuring out some kind of approach between those two work groups that's going to make the most sense. I would hope we could know that by our next meeting of the full body. So I look forward to hearing where that ends up, because I definitely know we don't want to leave the funding reform on the table for a year. Now's the time. The iron is very hot for us to make some progress on that. So.
And it's the thing that we've said 100 times already, that it usually what goes from great ideas to just being another book or binder on the shelf is when we start talking about money. And so if we really want to do something great for kids, then, we just need to get that taken care of.
Yep. Do the cake work.
Yes, the cake work.
Okay, good. Anybody else have any thoughts or concerns? Right.
Morning. Hi, good morning, everyone. I have a question. I mean, clearly I'm struggling, and I'm clear about what the struggle is for the Wilmington Center for Education Equity. We're seeing action items that are absolutely necessary to support students and our educators in schools. But the proposals are still focused on sameness and not equity. And I really see, I struggled with the packaging of all of the bills into one vote versus voting one by one. So I just want to, that was very difficult for me. And I see the HB 100 as an opportunity to, not the what, but the how, to break new ground, to take a look at some agreed upon inputs to assess the level of need um, based on the demographics and the profiles of students, and to allocate resources based on need, as opposed to a numerical unit ratio with X number of students. And so my question is there an opportunity, because I personally have not been engaged in conversations with sponsors of the bill. Is there an opportunity to offer amendments, or has that opportunity already passed?
I mean, there's always an opportunity to offer amendments. I think, I mean, certainly this is a bill that's been around for a couple of years now. This is its second session or third, maybe. I think second. And, there were changes between what was filed last session and what exists now that were made, I think, in terms of broadening the scope of who could be hired under that unit. So no, I mean, I think absolutely there's an opportunity to have those conversations. And I think Dr. Harrison made an interesting comment at Joint Finance, which I thought was kind of getting to your point. Maybe I was misinterpreting it, but that's what I heard. He made a comment that a rising tide doesn't lift all boats, it maintains inequities. And I thought that was a powerful way to put it, which I think when you do something that's very universal like that, it does feel like a rising tide. It's great. We need those resources. But if they're not targeted, it's not necessarily in the service of equity. I thought that was good. So I think absolutely until a bill is passed, there's an opportunity for amendments.
Okay. And again, the Reading Consortium, when we started, we spent a lot of time defining equity. I think we might need to go back and revisit that.
Mm-hmm. Right. Yeah, we have our statement, our sort of our North Star statement, and it's supposed to guide our policy decisions. I know that within the subcommittee, I mean, Erin touched upon the thoughts for that were coming out of the working group in terms of ways that they thought that these efforts could be enhanced. And we haven't yet drafted what our position statement looks like. We said very broadly, that we're in support of these bills, but I think when we put that in writing, I think there's potentially room for some nuance there. I know in my mind, I want to make it clear that we support these things, but our priority is our investments that we've recommended, in addition to our support for these bills. So I think there's potentially some room there for language that gets at some of those concerns. I guess I would ask in terms of a process, Haley and Kelly, do we think that once we draft it, I guess we don't need to put it out to the entire consortium for approval, but what do we think the process of drafting that position statement looks like?
I'm not sure, but I can draft something and send it to you and see what you think.
I mean, I presume, Matt and I would draft something or certainly edit something to get to what we want it to actually say. So, we heard a lot of things in the meeting itself that I think would be fair to represent in a statement. Obviously, we want it to be brief, but I don't know if that helps, right? But I'm basically saying there's room for us to comment on some of the things that were clear.
And I think it'd be good, well, we could talk about it, but the statement could also have some of the feedback that we heard at the meeting. Like, we support these bills, but these are suggestions. Exactly. These are things we're not necessarily concerns, but maybe concerns, things like that, or amendments we see or something like that.
Exactly. I think that's exactly what it needs to do.
I think it would be very helpful, not only in terms of the longer view, in terms of service to students and families, but also to maintain the integrity of the work. During the meeting, we have people that are on the ground. Some of those members of the social determinants work group, they're communicating during the meeting asking a whole, a lot of, well, they're less asking questions and more raising concerns. And so we want to at least make the attempt through, whether you call it a position to give voice to in a formal way. Not only, everybody can raise concerns, but I think that we're smart enough to make some recommendations that are action oriented. And this is just the perfect opportunity to be uncomfortable walking in ambiguity and not just doing the same thing.
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I'm just trying to think, how do we approach that in terms of our statement? But I think that's what we'll have to be working on.
Okay, this is what I'm offering to do is to put some ideas down on paper and to share it, and we can engage in robust discourse and see where we come out.
Yeah,
Can I
so,
just jump in,
to
or should I wait
that,
until? No, go ahead.
to that point, that's the same process I was thinking. I mean, in terms of in the House, as far as when we're looking at our discussions, rather in caucus or when we get ready to present, hopefully proposed amendments. I don't think anyone thinks the bill is perfect. I think it starts the conversation, and we're hoping that we can definitely improve it. I mean, I know that's the sense of individuals I've spoken to within our caucus. And hopefully we can begin to have that conversation. And I look forward to presenting what I see as recommending areas of need within the bills to the sponsor as well.
I want to share three things regarding the bill. One, well, maybe four. One is overall, I support it. However, three things that I would recommend that we add to the list. One would be that we look at a prioritization. So, well, let me back up. One would be, the unit funding system that we currently utilize needs to be reviewed. So I support the bill given the current way that we fund students, with the recognition that the way that we fund students is problematic. So saying it's almost, this is what will work for now, given the current structure, but a recommendation of review to ensure that the structure utilized for funding public school is reviewed and changes that are necessary are implemented. And then I guess that was 2, and 3 is a prioritization. So ensuring that schools that have the highest need are the first to receive the support, rather than being the last to receive the support. So we need to look at what is the mechanism, or what are the metrics for prioritization. And the third piece, or the fourth piece, I guess, with my early childhood hat is, I don't know why I didn't notice this before, but it really hit me last night that HB 100 does not include early childhood. And we serve over 3,000 children each year in public preschool programs. And many of our young children, many of our young children and our families of young children need the support of social workers, school counselors, mental health professionals. Many families, they are new to the school system. They are experiencing many barriers, and we're often helping families connect with outside services for counseling, helping them connect with social services, helping them connect with Delaware guidance. I could go on and on and on. So it is, we must make sure we include our youngest learners. Thank you. I can send all that in writing.
Yeah, no, that'd be great. Definitely.
Absolutely. And your last point is is absolutely essential. Otherwise, we're not being consistent. And preschool is when the entry point is the opportunity to intervene and to provide interventions and supports for the same reason that we advocate all the other better outcomes based on our early interventions. So definitely. So that's the kind of, if we can have those kind of conversations, and then or have people send it in, probably more efficient, send their ideas in, discuss them, compile them, to make some decisions. I think that at least we would be driving towards equity in a more cogent way.
Yeah, I mean, I think we have to keep equity obviously at the forefront of whatever positions we take. And we definitely want to have a pretty quick turnaround on a position statement. We don't want to put it out in 2 months. So I think if folks
Yes.
have their ideas, it's not something we're going to wait to have the consortium vote on a letter at our next full body meeting. So this is going to be a quick turnaround of ideas. So if you have ideas that you want to be in front of us for drafting, I would suggest doing that within the week.
Yeah.
Okay, that's helpful.
Thanks for allowing time to receive the feedback, and I'll be contacting you for the I forget what it was called, with the Edunomics report.
Yeah.
The tool.
Okay. Yes, the tool.
We'll take a look at weighted needs.
I think Matt has his hand raised.
Right.
I'm good. I think what I had to say was already said.
Okay. All right. So send us your language for our consideration, and then we'll go from there. I would like for us to be able to be prepared to send. Maybe we can touch on it maybe next Friday, but but that should be the end of it. All right. So moving right along, and I do appreciate that. I mean, it's always good to hear the feedback, and I appreciate that it was problematic to vote on all three at once. I thought that might be, we were trying to be expedient, and but I understand. All right, next meeting's coming up. We've got settlement coming up soon. Funding and governance, you guys are still scheduling. What about social determinants? Where are we on that? It sounds like maybe the subgroups are meeting. Is that what's going on?
We're scheduling.
Okay, scheduling. So maybe we'll have some dates next week. And then we know the educators work group is not yet meeting, or no longer meeting rather.
So Senator, you, as Matt said, and Jason, I don't know if we're if we're any closer to actually locking in a reoccurring monthly date, and we are scheduling, in the process of scheduling content experts to come in to talk with us, so that we can think more deeply about our recommendations. Dr. Adrian Bodie is his last name, I believe, out of Department of Education. We have a request out to have him come in around the whole research recommendation. School wellness, what's it called, Dawn? The School Wellness Planning Consortium.
Oh, Dawn, you're muted.
Sorry, I'm muted. I'll find the name. It's the Delaware School Wellness Advisory Committee. Yeah, I'm not saying it correctly, but I'm going to put it in the chat.
Yes.
Yes,
You're in the
but we
ballpark.
need- yes.
Each month we will be adding a content knowledge building section to our meeting agenda.
Okay, that's great.
And we should, hey Jason, we should be mindful to record so they can get posted, so that people that are not able to come to the actual meeting, I think all of us should, it's probably already happening. So I could go back and watch the presentation of other subcommittees if I'm not able to actually be there real time. Is that already happening?
Yeah, the recordings. Yes.
Okay.
We're recording right now.
I mean, I see that little button.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. So moving right along, and I think in future planning meetings, I think we'll be able to talk a little bit more about what our goals are in terms of what our April meeting looks like and what our expectations are in terms of updates there. But it's the night after our last full body meeting, so I don't think we need to do that too much right now. All right, public.
question.
Yes.
When in Title 14, is there an expectation, understanding that there are children who are up to age 21 who are included in the public education system, because children 18 to 21 who have special needs, at certain levels of special needs, continue to receive services for 3 more years? Is it understood when we say that a bill covers, let's say, preschool through 12th grade, is it understood that children or adults actually 18 to 21 are included, or does it need to be, because if we're looking at numbers, if we're looking at that, these supports, does it need to say through age 21 if eligible?
That's a great question. I don't know the answer to that.
Okay, I'll put that in my notes. Okay, thank you. Thank you for letting me.
Yeah, put that in the notes. That's wonderful equity point. Great. So public engagement. Let's see, newsletter feedback document. Have I seen that?
I think Alexis was gonna send it around. I'm not 100% sure if she did yet.
Okay.
I can give it a quick share. 1 second. It's pretty simple. It's just, if we decided we're doing monthly newsletters, she just created this Google sheet. So to keep everyone up to date of the release date, and then what we sort of the headings we're going to have in the newsletter. So sort of the consortium update news, and then sort of one for each newsletter, or one for each work group. And then if there was some sort of membership news that we wanted to highlight, like some of this stuff that we're talking to that's sort of consortium like adjacent, you know what I mean? So like related to us, but something like that. And then I just put an other column here for people who
have membership news would be, for example, like folks who are representing certain other entities as part of the consortium, like the Center for Educational Equity, or the Community Advisory Council, those types of things.
Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Okay. It very easily could have been shared, and I just didn't see it yet.
No, I'm not 100% sure if she did. And I think Alexis and I need to talk through the process of like, is this just going to go through sort of me, Kelly, and Jason as like the liaisons of the work group, or if we want, it would also be great, to get direct feedback from, work group co-chairs and others about what should be in the newsletter. But we need to think a little bit more about process.
Yeah.
I'm happy to get feedback if people have thoughts about that.
Great. So you know how we are as liaisons to the work groups. You can just nag us as chairs to respond. That's always helpful. And okay, that's good. And then I saw the small meeting document that Tika sent around. That looked good. I have not had the opportunity to put anything in there, but I will work to do that when I have a little time to go back and start to populate that, or just try to keep on top of it moving forward. I don't think we're having any small meetings at the moment. I'm not having any small meetings, but that, yeah, it looked good. It looked good. Anybody else have any questions about that document, the use of that document? Okay. And then I think probably our biggest priority in the public engagement front should be the top of the list is the testimonial videos. And I saw that even when we opened up, Dawn had a specific question about the process there, a way to submit those. So, so any thoughts on that? Are we just expecting folks to shoot it on their phone, send it over somewhere? Where? How does that work? Jason, are you assisting people in recording them potentially?
Yes to all of that.
Okay.
So basically I've developed a Google form that we're going to send out. I think we wanted to space it out with the rest of the messages that were going out this week. So I think it's supposed to go Monday. But anyway, there's a Google form that basically asks, we're looking for testimonials. You can select your topic, and then you can choose to either schedule a session with me where I'll record it, or if you feel, savvy enough with your technology, you can go ahead and shoot it yourself, send it to me, and I'll go ahead and cut it up and we'll get it shared.
Great.
So
So that's
there are options.
okay. And all right, that sounds good. And so Monday that's going out for sure. Okay.
We just drop it in the chat for right now as well, the link for the Google Doc, and then
Okay.
for whoever here, and then we could share it more broadly.
Yeah. So we want to get that started, and then because I would assume once that goes out, we're going to have at least a couple of days. I think probably be great if by next Friday we have a sense of who's submitting, and so that we can begin to post them up as soon as possible. I think we should definitely treat that as an urgent priority.
Can I confirm that? Oh, sorry. I was gonna
Go ahead.
send the survey out that Jason created to consortium members and work group members. I wasn't gonna send it to our whole list of people from the public, but I can. I was just wondering. It probably makes more sense to get videos from our members, but we can give it a bigger range.
No, I think we should do it to the full list.
Okay. Sure.
If someone wants to be a supporter and put their name and face to it, I think we should take it. I mean, obviously we can have some discretion around the videos that we get in and their usability, but I think we should invite anyone who would like to do that. And of course we'll be strategic in terms of, asking some specific folks to do it. But I think it's good to put it out there broadly, and that helps us forward that ask.
And we're also using Jason's creating some clips from the press release as well.
Oh, nice.
So the only people we're sending it to now are consortium members and work group members.
No, Tizzy just said she'd like to send it to the whole consortium email list, which includes members of the public.
Okay. Got it.
Stakeholder group interested folks. Yeah. The
Okay.
whole broad list. Okay. Anything else? Any other questions on that? So that's going to launch in earnest on Monday, but we have the link to invite people now that Jason just put in the chat. I'm going to click on it so I have it in my browser. And anything else on that one?
How soon do we think we can start putting up videos that we have from the press conference?
I can carve out some time to edit later today, early next week. And so as soon as I get them edited, or, I can get them kind of one at a time. As soon as I have them, they're ready to go up, but the editing takes a little while.
Yeah, it'd be nice to have a couple go up next week. Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday. I guess, we'll have at least one from each speaker, I would think.
And maybe Jason, we could connect about this because I'm pretty good at editing videos too. So we could divvy it up so it's not all you doing it.
I like the idea of pulling from the press conference. I think that's a good idea. And I wish we'd thought
Sounds
of
good.
that. That's a great idea. Thank you for thinking of it. I'm like, why didn't we think of that sooner? But great idea.
So I have a question. Once we have them, does anybody need to approve them? Do Tizzy and Matt need to approve? Or
I think for Matt, you're unmuted. Go ahead.
I would say for the press conference, no.
Yeah.
For the other ones, yes.
Exactly. I'm 100% exactly where I was on that one.
that's what I was thinking. Thank you.
Yeah, press conference, we're good. Didn't hear anything alarming. So, but yeah, the other ones for sure. Okay. Anything else on that one? So this seems like a big topic. We may not be able to get too far into today, but in terms of the technical assistance piece, is this sort of, are we talking in terms of like the educators work group spreadsheet of tasks? What is, Haley, you wanna help me focus on what we mean here, how to,
I was kind of confused. I don't really know what this means. It was like, I think Tika was talking a lot about it last time. I don't see her on the meeting.
so why don't we table that particular agenda item and maybe we can, you know, move it up the list for our next planning meeting discussion. Sound good? All right, good. All right, I don't think we have any public to comment today. So, oh, we do? Oh, we do. Sorry, I didn't even see that. All right, we will go into public comment. 3 minutes. Good morning. Hello? Is that Amy?
Okay, I sorry, I thought there might be somebody else.
No, sorry. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, so I'll have to watch last night's meeting on playback. I hope that it went well. With these snow days, my kids are virtual, and I had a prior engagement last night and couldn't make it, but I'm excited to see and hear how it went. I hope it went really well. And I appreciate all just the enormous effort and work and everyone using all of their experience and technical know-how to really, I think, make it the best recommendations that could possibly exist. So I really appreciate all of your effort. And just know that I really believe in it and want to promote this group. And I hope that we can get movement. And I made a comment at the JFC education hearing this week, and I got a lot of, I got some upset phone calls, I would say, and feedback. And taking that on, moving forward, I am fine to reframe how I hold my discourse, but I'm still going to name what I see and what I hear. And that's something that I don't think is happening enough. At the education JFC, I would have loved to have a DOE department who really addressed the disparities and talked about it in a more structured and plan of attack solutions kind of way. I thought it was very much a kind of a laundry list of window dressing that they went through. And the fact that I picked on the Office of Equity and Innovation was because through my investigations, to really determine that no new money was given to that office. Like the 20,000 was kind of slid over from another place, as was the 100,000, as was the 146,000. So when I talk about where's the budget, I mean, where's the complete entire action plan for this new office that addresses all of the initiatives that they said that they were going to increase the size and scope of this office for? And how can the governor rebrand this and link it to what you guys are doing without getting like one extra cent to it? Like, I cannot understand it. And when I ask for a budget, I mean a real budget that I can FOIA and I can see all the resources that are required. Thank you.
Thanks, Amy. Totally understood.
Right on time, Amy. That was exactly 3 minutes.
Exactly. Got
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think you were it. So I think we are good for today. Hopefully everyone is staying warm and safe on the roads and all that good stuff. And maybe even get a chance to have a nap after all the hard work that you continue to do in the service of our full body meetings and work on our proposals. So I think we're good today, and we'll see you next week and probably before then.
Thank you.
Happy weekend, everybody.
Have a good weekend, everyone.
Thank you. Bye.